This video is the sequel of a previous video of mine, of my video about Roads to Moscow, a game by GMT. Today I'm reviewing Roads to Leningrad, and it is a game based on the same system, different battles, just a couple of minor tweaks here and there, but overall really the system is quite the same. Because of this I'm not going to cover the entire rules of the system. I'm going to tell you about the battles that you find in this set here. The game was released earlier, but I played it later, so I'm going to talk about the prequel in the game as a sequel of my video. We are in World War II, we are on the Eastern Front. The Germans are advancing on the Eastern Front, and in the part of the fight represented in this game, we'll look towards the north. Again, we are going to look at battles that happen as the Germans were trying to advance towards Leningrad. What's interesting here is that, well, this is when the Soviets started pushing back. In the other games, in the other battles they played in the system, the ones he Roads to Moscow, the Soviets tended to be more like the defenders. Here the situation is such that you have scenarios that represent the counterattacks, so the Soviets become much more, they take more on the role of the attacker. Anyways, let me show you the maps for this game, and let me show you the setup, and overall let me give you a feel of the game, of the two battles in this set, and then I will give you a general assessment of my experience of playing Roads to Leningrad. Here you see the map and the setup for the Battle of Salt Sea. We are on the Eastern Front in World War II, of course. We are on the roads to Leningrad, hence the name of the game. The situation, the Germans are advancing along this road. There are two pretty substantial stacks of German units here. Many of those units have a red square around their movement allowance. If you know this game, that means that they have a lot of advantages in terms of what they can do and how they can react and how they can attack. Those people are bad. And the Soviet defenders are scattered in small groups all around that road. And also they're completely disorganized. They have no idea what's going to hit them. The majority of the special rules that apply to this scenario really are meant to represent the disorganization of the Soviet units. For example, you have an artillery unit there that starts on its fired side, some units there that cannot move at the beginning of the game. I indicated that as a reminder by turning them upside down like that. This group of units here at the beginning of the game, for the first 2 turns, they cannot stack more than 2 units per hex, so it will be hard to put together any substantial defense or counterblow. And that group of units right there, finally a good number of units, some good units too, but again they have no idea what the heck's going on. So the activation marker for those units will not enter play until the 3rd turn. For the first 2 turns of the game, those units cannot move, cannot attack. They can only defend and retreat normally. Luckily for the Soviets, there is definitely a good number of reinforcements that is going to enter the game soon, as you can see from there. But alas, the same applies to the Germans too. Especially in the 3rd turn of the game, as you can see, there will be a huge number of units entering the game for both sides, especially for the Soviets though. Until then, things I think are going to look pretty grim for them because of the limitations in the first 2 turns. A good number of reinforcements for the Germans in turn 2. Until turn 3, things I think are going to be pretty tough for them. Let's see how they can do. I haven't played this game yet. I'm going to play it next. As soon as I turn off this camera, I really look forward to it. I enjoyed other games in the system in the past. I really want to see how this battle plays out. This is the map for the Battle of Staraya Russa. There are 2
battles that you can play on this map. And here I've set up the scenario number 3, which is a very long scenario. It is probably the longest scenario. Yes, it is the longest scenario that I've played in this game and in this system, including also Roads to Moscow. The situation, well, the situation depicts a counteroffensive from the Russians against the Germans that are around the area of Staraya Russa. So we have some Germans there, which are going to be the defenders, and then we have a good number of Soviet units that are coming from different directions. You see those things there? Those are micro dice, those little dice that sometimes you get in Ziploc bag games, by victory point games. And what I did was to place them on the map to mark objectives that the Soviet player is trying to capture to deny victory points to the German player. Also, the entire city of Staraya Russa is a victory point area, but that one is so obvious that I didn't think I would mark it. I marked that one X that is outside of the city and still is a victory point X. So seems like an easy task, right? Because the German player has supply lines that come from here. The Soviets are in a good position to surround the Germans and to build some strong points here as they move in this direction and they capture objectives. Alas, there is a problem here, there is a big problem, which is German reinforcements, especially that super mega scary group of reinforcements there. That will take a while to get there, but it will get there. And those reinforcements will enter partially from this section of that edge and partially from this other section of that edge. Sorry, my voice is going down. That means that after a couple of turns in which the Soviets will try to capture as many objectives as possible, the Germans will come and smash against them, and so I see how there can be the danger that the Soviets will find themselves squeezed between two lines of Germans. I haven't played this scenario yet. It's a very long scenario. It will take me a long time. I think it will definitely take me a couple of evenings to play, but hey, I like the system. The situation seems interesting, so I'm definitely going to play it soon, and as soon as I'm done, I'll report my impressions about this scenario.
I definitely enjoyed the battles in this game. I enjoyed the system very much. It really hits a soft spot for me because it has a lot of detail, it has complexity and depth without being incredibly overbearing, without being too complicated. It is not Advanced Squad Leader, it is not an introductory war game, it is medium complexity with some really nice touches, with continuous interaction between the two sides, and what really matters to me also, chat pull mechanics. A big fan. I can play the game in solitaire, which is precisely how I played it. A lot of surprises, a lot of challenges, a lot of things that I like about this system. You knew that, but just to give you a confirmation that this system was already good in the first chapter. It is not that only the implementation of the system in Roads to Moscow is good. I was happy to see the system working so well here. How about the battles specifically? I enjoyed both. Probably the second battle is one that I liked better than the previous one. It felt more epic. I like the fact that the Russians were trying to conquer territory, to take things back from the Germans, knowing, when you look at the reinforcement track, that the Germans are coming precisely in the direction where where you're trying to take control of things. There is a certain feel between the two battles which is very similar, which is understandable given the similarity in the topic, and that has to do with strong, tough German units versus an ocean of weaker Soviet units which are trying to outnumber and overwhelm the Germans. Understandably given the topic, just be ready to know this. That the two sides do play differently. Of course, there's an advantage in this too. Slightly non-symmetrical approaches to the battle increase the replay value of the game because you can have a different experience by playing different sides in different ways. Supplies are very important in both battles, and supplies are concentrated around the roads, so control of the roads is definitely important. I found that I had the impression that it was even more important than in roads to Moscow, because the net of roads was more limited. I found that the maps, especially the map of the first battle, gave me less possibilities, less opportunities to rebuild supply lines in case key points of the supply net were cut by the opponent. This increased the tension. Yes, you have to defend your roads well. It also seems to make the action a little more straightforward. I think that from that point of view, from the point of view of the possibilities offered by the map, possibilities in terms of experimenting, of creating different types of situations, well, I think that in terms of those possibilities, the maps and therefore the scenarios, the battles in roads to Moscow were better than the ones in roads to Leningrad. This being said, I definitely enjoyed roads to Leningrad. Had I not played roads to Moscow before, I wouldn't have noticed the thing about the roads, which really is such a minor thing. I'm just trying to be thorough. This is a very fine game. System, oh, I can't wait to see a new game in the system. I like it very, very much. Are there other good games out there in the same system? If you know them, let me know, tell me about it. Write that in the comments of the video, wherever it is that you're watching this video. I'll be glad to learn, and I'll try to play more games in the system. Fun system, just the right level of complexity, the right level of detail for me. Fun stuff. The battles in the set are very good. The components look good. Maybe the hexes of the maps could be a little bigger. I think I like that. Again, minor quibbles. Good game. Roads to Leningrad is a nice implementation of a system that I enjoyed very much. I believe that the game is out of print right now. See if you can look for a copy somewhere. Maybe GMT one day will reprint it, which I hope it does, because I believe that this game and this system deserve a little more love. Somehow these are not games that are particularly popular, famous, not the most talked about games in the wargaming communities. Some people know them, some people play them. I think they deserve more visibility, because Roads to Moscow and Roads to Leningrad are really, really nice games.